Okay, it looks like I'm already live, so I had to rotate this thing, try to figure out where I was. I couldn't quite figure out what's happening. So this is a continuation of some exercises I learned from my teacher, Alexander Kipnis at Juilliard. And I'm just sharing with you a couple of them at a time. And hope for those of you who are studying singing, you might be glad to have access to this. I think a lot of these are kind of standard in the training world, the vocal student world, whether they're taken privately or at a university or whatever you might be doing. And so here we go. This is, pardon me, something called the 5 and 9, and it's just a scale with a turnaround on the top. And so you'll see that's very useful. And so here we go. It goes like this. Now note, you can do this like slowly, or you can do it really fast, for agility and just kind of, warming up and stretching up the range. It's similar to a typical, scale, but it has a turnaround one note above, like the ninth. Surprisingly, that seems to be difficult for a lot of students at first, maybe just because they haven't heard the pattern. But I'm sure once you get it, something you can do in your car, you can do with a little pitch pipe. I have a pitch pipe in my car. I have also one on my phone. And so you can kind of sing anywhere, and hey, it's kind of good to sing in your car because people go by and they look at you and you're singing, they think, oh my God, they're crazy, and they just leave you alone. If only we could do that on the subway or something, right? Probably not. So, okay, let's try a few of these out, see how you like them. You can do them on na, ne, o, e. So you can use different vowels, and that's kind of a good thing. Maybe a different vowel every other run of them, not within the context of the run itself. Okay. So maybe go up and down like 2 octaves like that, just touching on the C. You can do them faster, agility. That's another way of doing them. Okay, so 5 and 9. So go ahead and try that. So let's see. There are a couple of other exercises that we used to do in the lesson, and one of these is a simple arpeggio, which, interestingly enough, whenever I show this to a new student, they always had trouble with it, hearing it. You might say it's 1 5 1. So we usually do it very slow until they can get the pattern, and you might want to do that as well. And you can do it on any vowel. I don't do too many E's because it's a problematic vowel. The E vowel, I don't think should be E, but E. See, E, E. Hear the difference? So more like sit, but not like a real close hard E. I think that might be a good way to speak. I don't know, but it's very bad on the voice because it tightens up the mechanism quite a bit. So let's try a few of these here, okay? All right. Na, so you can vary the speed, and sometimes you can just do them, like quickly, or so you get the idea. You can sing along with me a little bit, but you can also just copy the pattern, maybe write it out on some note paper, music note paper, not like taking notes in English class. And if you don't know what that is, just order it online, or if you have a local music store, I'm sure they'll have a little binder of note paper. I have some in different places back here. I can't grab them right now because I just now thought of the idea for you, but it does help to do that. So now, there was one other thing that we would do in the lessons, and this is a little bit more complicated. So you really have to make sure you breathe well. And I think it kind of builds strength in the voice. So you push a little bit, don't force, don't strain. When I say push, it's just like sing with, your full power, but don't strain, don't scream, don't force, don't damage your voice, And I'll show you something in a minute about how to access some of that bigger resonance. And most of this is more for curiosity students, beginning students. Maybe there's a professional student that picks up a clue or something. I don't know. I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to work with people if they want to work with me a little bit. I don't have a lot of time for that, but I always look forward to sharing what I know with someone that it might help them. I have a couple of professional students that have had a question or a little problem they're trying to solve, and I think we worked it out together and got them on a better path. And I was just happy to see them succeeding and continuing to sing successfully. So that's kind of that's what we should do, right? We should help if we can. Okay, so this one is kind of like the arpeggio, but it doesn't go to the last third of the figure. That's the arpeggio. But this one goes. The idea is to hold that top note. So you got to aim for that, like this. Na. So you get the idea on that. Because in music, you'll be singing a phrase or a section in the opera as an aria or a duet, and lo and behold, you get to a phrase and you've got to top off and hold the high note, like the end of part of the scene of the second act of Aida, where the tenor has to just hit and sustain a long A. So this way it gets you accustomed to doing things like that. So, all right. And I hope that helps. And so that's like a regular arpeggio and a third note above it, right? So let's see, to go up there. There we go. Kind of like that. And you can gradually build up on that. I haven't done that particular exercise myself for a while, but it's kind of exciting to get back into remembering what I did in my lessons years ago, and to be reusing it myself, and also to sharing it with other people. So there's one other thing I'm going to share. And unfortunately, a lot of people who want to sing or come to sing, somehow they always want to sing with some kind of thin, light, breathy, almost inaudible sound. Ah, ah, praise God from whom all flesh sing. So I can't even do it. And I don't know where that comes from. It's like being self-conscious, being told in choir they have to blend and don't be too loud. Or maybe that's all they've ever heard. They've heard pop singers singing like, I call it quarter voice on a microphone. So when I try to get them to do they do kind of unsupported, and invariably to squeeze it, the larynx goes up, and I've had a couple of otolaryngologists tell me, actually, when you sing breathy like that all the time, you're much more likely to develop nodes, because the vocal cords are always like they're like slamming together. They're not like approximating the way they're supposed to. So how do you find that resonance? Here is a way, just like if someone was going to attack you or steal your moped or your bike, or steal your briefcase, your purse, whatever, you wouldn't just say, hey, don't steal my stuff. You would be like, hey, hey, hey. See, that's where the bigger sound comes from, kind of like a yell. So try that. You probably don't want to do it in front of people, because they'll probably call the cops on you or something. But you can do it in your car. You can do it like in your private room when no one's home, and so that way you can access that kind of more powerful resonance. And that's kind of more where an opera singer kind of sings. Certain parts of the time. Maybe you don't sing full out like that all the time. Just emotional expression doesn't require that all the time, but you need to access that resonant part of your voice, and not that breathy kind of disembodied tone that so many people think is singing. And I think most people have a bigger sound. If I get people to do what I just did within their voice, almost everyone can make a bigger sound. And it's like, wow, listen to that. That's your real voice. That's what I tell them. And it's just hard psychologically for people to buy into that and embrace it. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think for me, it was, I never sang. I wouldn't sing in church. I wouldn't sing in school. I wouldn't be in the choir or play trumpet. And then I was at a local gym as a teenager, and the owner put on Mario Lanza. And I heard that, and I thought, wow, I had never heard anything like that my whole life. So I decided, well, if I could maybe sing kind of like that, I'll take some lessons. So I went for lessons that week, and they encouraged me, and they weren't opposed to Mario Lanza. And then I found out there were other singers with that kind of voice. There are actually real opera singers with that kind of voice, and I began to like, that was my out of the gate exposure to singing. And so that helped a lot because right away I felt, well, it's okay to sing like that. So I tried to kind of imitate it. But if you've never heard anything like that, and all of you've heard is, people with a sweet voice, like say Olivia Newton-John or some of the light voices, that some of the guys have, like James Taylor or whatever, you feel like that's the only way you can sing. And then you try to imitate that. And actually one of the best ways, I think, to develop your voice and develop your instinct is to imitate the kind of people that motivate and inspire you and try to copy them within, as realistically as possible, and I know that Mario Lanza tried to copy and imitate Caruso. And I know three of the great tenors tried to copy and imitate Mario Lanza, Pavarotti, Domingo, and Carreras. So they were influenced. Obviously, they went on to find their own style. And that's what I want you to do. You might start out by imitating, right? Finding that resonance. Hey! Hey! Find that resonance, right? And then you go on and find out your own uniqueness, your own sound, your own personality, your own feelings of expression, your own way of interpreting a song. Because maybe Lanza or someone would sing it one way, but you think, no, I think personally, I feel it this other way. That's totally legitimate. Be your own person. So, but you got to start with some kind of motivation, just like little kids. You see a little kid, he walks just like his daddy. They just imitate, the role model in their life. And I think there's a lot to that, so almost more by imitation and instinct than by understanding everything, because that's like, that's almost like plugging in, like downloading all the information almost immediately, how that is. So that's the approach that I have, and I think it works. And a lot of my colleagues would definitely agree with me. So anyway, folks, went a little bit long today while closing in on 20 minutes. I'm almost embarrassed. But hopefully some of these ideas helped you. Remember the 5 and 9, and then the arpeggio, and then the other. Right? So just try those different vowels, different speed, different volume, and then try a little bit to access that. When you do that yell that I showed you, just make sure you're relaxed, everything is open, and use your support, use your chest and back muscles. Remember, a lot of your lungs are really more in the back than they are in the front, but the diaphragm is here. And you'll notice your doctor, when they listen to your lungs, always listen in the back more than in the front. If you pay attention, there's a reason. Why do they do that? Good. There's where the lungs are. And so that way, and remember, keep the voice placed here with next to the bronchi and next to the air. Remember, the air is here, not here. Sure, you can breathe, through the nose, and you can feel the resonance up here, which is like a kind of a reflex of the volume that's created here. Then this is the sounding area, but you don't want to focus in this. You want to sing from, it all kind of comes from there. But, with finesse, don't get muscular, don't get throaty, don't get constricted. But just so I eliminate some confusion, when you're up, hey, hey, that's more that kind of high placed, more pinch sound. So, hey, projects better and feels better, actually. People can sing both ways, and I can think of singers that kind of lean one way or the other. You still have to find your own path, your own track. And so you do have to experiment a little bit we're all somewhat different, and so I don't want to force anyone down just one hole. But hopefully these thoughts generate some consideration on your part and possibly some discussion from some of my colleagues. So, all right, have a good day. I'm going to figure out how to end this little Sendung here, and we will see you next time on some more Kipnis exercises. So, have a good day. Bye bye.